Okay, this is our final presentation. A disclaimer before we start, my camera is on, but it doesn't seem to work on this computer. But I let everybody else know that they should have the cameras on. But anyways, that's why mine isn't showing. My partners are Cynthia Cruz, Cassandra Garza, Adriana Andrade, and I'm Christopher Rome.
To begin with, our target student population we are focusing on is high schoolers. The grade levels are 9th through 12th grade. Speaking intermediate mid, writing intermediate low, and listening intermediate high are our key areas of attention in the ACTFL proficiency levels, because we will also focus on HL learners, or also known as heritage language learners, which are students who are raised in a home where a non-English language is spoken, speaks, or at least understands the language, and is to some degree bilingual in that language and English. Because most HL learners have a period in which they feel as though they are living in two different worlds, that is why we are going to focus on. So one of the main themes of our presentation is navigating between two languages. Our main issue is how can we traverse two languages while attempting to reduce the need for Spanglish words by becoming more familiar with regional words.
So here we have the product. With the product, we would be building a glossary about Spanglish terms and regional terms as well. And as mentioned before, the problem is navigating between two languages and trying to lessen the need of Spanglish words. With our product, we would address this issue by having students build the glossary, and this would focus on students being able to know more of the Spanish terms and regional terms as well. And the skills and modes of communication engaged in this creation of the products would be writing, speaking, and listening. So with the process, there are 3 steps. It would be information gathering, information processing, and information presenting.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the information gathering portion of this project. So we talked as a group, and we came up with, before the meeting, we would ask students to provide a list of words that are different depending on their cultural background. For example, words like parking, straw, pen. We can add expressions such as greetings and other phrases. We can take a look at formatting a glossary to use as a reference, as well as looking at a glossary to see what it is. We would also have them look up how to say certain words or phrases and make lists. We can split these groups into topics such as food, body parts, animals, and clothing. We would limit them to about 15 words per group so that we can put them all together. They can ask other students what they know from various Latin American countries, as well as their parents and family members. We can start with the teacher provided example and then move on to student provided materials. Our teachers could start with a general question about how to say a word. For example, how do you say to park in Spanish? Students would mention the regional Spanglish terms they know. Then we could look at the internet to find little translations of the word, specifically with the Real Academia Española, which is what most of us use. And then this project can be both group and individual, as well as it includes homework and classwork.
Okay, next step would be the information processing section. And here, ideally, we just prep them to start building their own glossaries. And they would also collect the data and vocabulary the students came up with their groups. Then some questions come into mind, such as, do students work with authentic models? What kind of activities help students focus on essential aspects of language? And what does formative assessment look like at the stage? Again, this is where they would put it all together after finding out keywords or vocabulary that they find interesting. And they could also be graded on the list they've compiled, both groups and homework, being that they ask family members or anybody that speaks the native language.
As well as groups and homework, we would also do an exit card that would be graded. And this would be them turning in a list that they made in their groups. And another assessment at this level would be giving them a grade for their homework of compiling new lists with people at home or just people around them or in their community. So with these activities, we would incorporate this part to anything regarding class, PowerPoints, or documents that incorporate the students in their work.
Okay, finally, the last step would be information presenting, where we would take these regional words that they've gotten from outside sources or from themselves as prior knowledge, and compare them to what the Real Academia Española, the diccionario, says. Afterwards, they would take what is learned and again go with the parents and ask them for further exposure.
For the assessments, one of the formative assessments we would use would be an exit card at the end of the classes to see what their progress is in understanding of the words, as well as a grade for a rough draft of their glossaries based on what genre words they would focus on.
So for the summative assessment, we would grade on their ability to understand regional words of English words and including the formal Spanish words. And the final product would be a combined glossary of all the various words from the various students in the classroom and the words that they have all gathered together.
Lastly, to conclude, we found this video here. It is a TikTok video by @AK Latinos. This video here portrays students saying the word popcorn in various ways in Spanish. Although we are navigating 2 languages, this video motivated us to work on the project because it made us aware of the challenges that come with doing so, especially when learning a language that can have different words for the same word. As in this TikTok video that presents various ways of saying popcorn instead of Spanglish version, popcorn. Some examples could include palomitas de maíz, palomitas, paloma, cabritas, and canchitas.
Popcorn, palomitas de maíz, palomitas.
Es una paloma.
Popcorn, palomitas o cabritas. Palomitas.
Canchita.
Gracias.